Welcome, everyone. So glad to have you. If you're not familiar with our sanctuary, there's blue tape that's separating. And we just ask that you keep your spacing and that we do have masking here. As people are coming in, make sure you have your prayer book. And we also have some song sheets if you got, and also a leaflet.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get started. We welcome everyone. Raise your hand if you're here for Quinn's baby naming. We should always have a baby naming around the Thanksgiving Shabbat because clearly a lot of people are at their homes still digesting their turkeys, I believe. I'm very pleased today to have Dr. Yonina Andrea Foster here with me to help lead. She'll be leading our Saturday morning service this week too. And she's prepared the service as well as the song sheets. You should have song sheets, and we are going to begin with a chant by someone who went to my rabbinical school. We overlap by 1 year, Shefa Gold. She's out west in Arizona. And she's really perfected the art of chanting. I believe that Dr. Foster has learned with her as well.
But actually, we're going to start with Todah first.
Todah, okay, perfect. Oh, this is Sue Reamer is the first
Sue
one. So.
Romer, of
Romer.
blessed memory from the D.C. area, where I lived for decades.
The family is from the D.C. area, so how perfect. Okay, that's the thanks at the beginning. Those
This
of you
family, the baby family?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
I lived in Germantown for decades. Oh, we'll have to talk. Is that where you are? Oh, okay. Other side of the water. Cool. Okay. So the songs that I chose, I purposely chose thinking about just being after Thanksgiving. Giving thanks, which is important any time of the morning, noon, or night. And even though it's not Hanukkah, I think about light. So think about all the things that you're thankful for as we start with Todah. I'll then go into the chant. Thank you for everything you've made. Thank you for everything you gave. The sky of blue, a friend or two. For all I have, I'm truly blessed. A song that's flowing, for eyes a-glowing. Because of all this, I can exist. And if you don't want to use words, we'll just do a little ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la. Maybe you can join me on just that first verse. Thank you for everything you've made. Thank you for everything you gave. The sky of blue, a friend or two, for all I have. I'm truly blessed. A song that's flowing, for eyes a-glowing. Because of all this, I can exist. And the Hanukkah chant. I'm just glad, y'all, that we're not on a ship.
How so? Tell me what you
Well, we would be listing that way.
I see. If the whole room, for those of you joining us virtually,
Oh, that's
we
right.
would be all tilted to one side. We put you there because the camera's over there, so it'll make it look like we're very full.
All right, so the Hanukkah chant.
And that's on the other side of your sheet.
Let the flame be kindled within me. Let your love burn bright. I hunger for your light. I hunger for your light. Let the flame be kindled within me. Let your love burn bright. I hunger for your light. I hunger for your light. One more time. Let the flame be kindled within me. Let your love burn bright. I hunger for your light. I hunger for your light.
Beautiful. Let's turn to page 129 for a hymn all the way from the medieval period, Abraham ibn Ezra, Ki Eshmerah Shabbat. I didn't realize he had written that.
At least that's what the songbook says.
Yeah, that's about 1,000 years ago.
Yep. Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leomead beno uveni. Oti leomead beno uveni. Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmerah Shabbat El Yishmereni.
And that is also one of the songs we often sing at a Shabbat table. It's a song called a Zmira, which is a special song that's supposed to give us joy on Shabbat day. So wonderful. We're going from successive holidays. We go from Thanksgiving to Shabbat to Havdalah and all the way to Hanukkah for 8 nights. It's wonderful. We are going to, before we actually begin officially, I think Bruce Corris, our immediate past president and our wonderful announcer and introducer, is down in Texas. So if you're watching, Bruce, we're so appreciative. We're going to try the best to keep up without you. Let's just take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air, breathing in everything from this past week. Some of us have traveled. Raise your hand if you've traveled from a distance. So we're going to shake all that out. We're going to breathe out all the traveling. That takes a lot out of you. Raise your hand if you ate a lot of turkey. Okay, we're going to get that out of our system too. purging that. Raise your hand if you're able to see your family. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna breathe that part in. I think that's something we want to celebrate. It's definitely rare. I know Ashira and I, we just stayed in. It was actually kind of fun not to have anything. We had a small turkey dinner just for ourselves. All right, let's take a nice deep breath. We breathe in everything that we want to hold on to, let go everything we want to let go to. It's really important to come fully into Shabbat. This is our pause during our week, our period, our comma, an opportunity to refresh. And without it, life just goes on perpetually, and we lose track of things, which often happens when you have a new baby, actually. Let's take one more time. We'll do it. All right, speaking of our wonderful new baby over here, we have Quinn, who's just the most adorable thing in the whole world, sitting in the front row. We're going to officially welcome him into the Jewish community and give him a Jewish name. I'm going to invite his parents over, and that would be Lindsay and Brendan, all the way from DC. If you want to read the reading first, about light, right into the microphone there.
Light was the first of God's creations. As light appeared, it brought with it the potential for wondrous things to follow. We too kindle the lights of hope, of understanding, of celebration, of countless new possibilities. This little baby with whom we have already been blessed has already brought light into our lives. May God's radiance continue to shine upon us. May our son grow to be a source of light to all those surround him. May his radiance illuminate the world. May the light of Torah and mitzvot be reflected in his shining deeds, and may he help bring the light of redemption into the world.
Amen. We're going to invite you over to light candles, and I should say that Lindsay, I believe, had her bat mitzvah here. Is that correct? Okay. So
wow.
It was very important for them and the family to come here to celebrate again, to continue the ritual tradition in this very space right here. And we're not going to say how many years ago that was.
Too many.
And
This is adorable.
yeah, we're gonna recite the blessing, which is on page 120. Dr. Foster will lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratavanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the glow of the Shabbat candles twinkle in Quinn's eyes and light up us with all the joy that the family's experiencing. We invite the grandparents to come up. A blessing, a baby is not just a blessing for the individual family, but for their extended family, especially the grandparents.
Our God
of all generations, we are grateful for new beginnings, for the bond of life that links one generation to the other.
We are thankful for the blessings of family which bring meaning and happiness to our lives, and we rejoice
with our children
at the birth of their child,
our grandchild. May we all grow together as a family in health and strength,
and
harmony and in love.
Amen.
Amen.
And we're going to invite Lindsay and Quinn back to the microphone for another blessing of strength for being new parents.
Help us raise our son, O God, whose heart will be clear, whose goals will be meaningful, one who will learn to laugh yet never forget how to cry, one who will reach into the future yet never lose touch with the past. Grant him the gifts of health, happiness, and wisdom. Then we will be privileged to say we have been truly blessed and enriched.
Amen. Maybe we'll have the family come around you if you want. We're going to offer a blessing. What I should say is that Brendan, whose Hebrew name is Wolf, which is a traditional name, I think very, very popular a century ago, actually, his English name is in honor Brendan's deceased cousin, and his Hebrew name is to honor Lindsay's grandfather, William Katz, whose German name was Wolfgang. And I believe that Lindsay's grandmother is here as well. Is that right? Yes. Wonderful. So this is honoring her husband, William. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer a priestly blessing. So if you want to kind of place your hands on Quinn, on Wolf, and we are going to offer, this is one of our oldest and most sacred of blessings.
And in this particular version, God is seen as a her, so I'm not making a mistake about Quinn, okay? Yivarechecha, 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 yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha ve'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ken yehi, ken yehi, ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi, ken yehi, ken yehi ratzon. Ken yehi, ken yehi, ken yehi ratzon. May God protect you every day. May God comfort you along the way. May God cause her light to shine upon your soul. May God bless you with shalom. A little boy was born in July. May he be blessed with love, joy, and humor and happiness. May God's bright light shine upon his face, and many paths he walks abound with grace. As he wanders along his way, may his heart learn to sing, opening to pray. For as the wings of light wrap around his soul, may all his dreams and visions be kissed with gold. Let this little spirit find his way of peace, and all the good things in his life increase. May the moon, sun, and stars dancing in the sky be his guiding light. Angels as he flies, Yivarechecha, 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 Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Please repeat after me. May God bless Quinn and protect him.
May God bless Quinn and protect him.
May God shine God's light upon Quinn.
May God shine his light upon Quinn
And grant him comfort.
and grant him comfort.
May God lift God's face to Quinn.
May God lift God's face to Quinn
And grant him peace.
and grant him peace.
Amen.
Amen.
So to Lindsay and Brendan, we have a gift right over here by the candles. That is a shirt that says that he was named at Shir Shalom, and that's presented by, I believe, our women at Shir Shalom, as well as our congregation. There's also a certificate there to mark your contagion, so it is official, and it can go with your bat mitzvah certificate. A little updated now.
Wow. Mazel
Mazel
tov,
tov.
Siman tov.
We are so blessed. I was with a group of rabbis recently, and I told them, about this person was from Seattle, and he has a small congregation in Seattle, and I said all the funerals we do, and he said he had one in 7 years, but he had plenty of baby namings. So we're very, very happy to have baby namings here. We have another blessing, which is the Kiddush. We're going to turn to page 123. We symbolically, using my Harry Potter strength, lift up the Kiddush cup there as we sing and sanctify our day of Shabbat.
Short or long? I don't
The
remember
long
what
version.
Counter does. Thank you. So we pretend we're lifting it up.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. May this day of Shabbat be a beautiful day full of holiness and blessing. Invite everyone to turn to page 124. At the bottom, we have a reading called May the Door of the Synagogue. And by the way, we're using Mishkan Tefillah prayer book here. We'll do this responsibly. 124. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. And Dr. Foster, I think that I hear peeking out of our little window over here, or part of our door, I think I hear Shabbat approaching. Do you hear it?
Wait, let's listen.
I think I can hear. We believe Shabbat is a physical presence, and that's the way that we allow ourselves. It's so hard for humans to rest. That's the way that we allow ourselves to rest. We're going to turn to page 138. And we have a tradition here of singing the first and the last verse.
Thank you.
First and ninth on page 138. On the final verse, we're going to face Joanne, who is all the way over there in the corner. If you're joining us virtually, face whatever doorway you have in your house. And we bow to the Shabbat Queen as she arrives in the room, the Shabbat Bride. We use both. And then we welcome each other, but with a wave. We used to shake hands in a long ago time, but now we just wave at each other just like this.
Ya-da-da, 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 ya-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, ya-la-la, ya-la-la, ya-la-la. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, ya-la-la, ya-la-la, ya-la-la. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el ha'miuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'li tehila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, ya-la-la, ya-la-la, ya-la-la. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, ya-la-la, ya-la-la, ya-la-la. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha utzohala. Toch emunei am zegula, boi kala, boi kala.
another. Waving. We remain standing. Oh, almost caught you. Okay. Page 146, our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We remain standing. Let's read together on 149 at the bottom. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light.
What
lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch
Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
And I wore a couple of things. I have my star mask here, and for this reading, because we're starting the Joseph story, so I think it's a appropriate reading. Seems like this is what the whole family could have read back then. We are going to continue on page 152 with the Shema. We remain standing.
And I like what you were saying about needing to take a break, sort of for Shabbat. So I offer Shema in a way that you can take a breath with each word. Slow it down, okay? I promise we'll get out on time, too. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol
Page
nafshecha
154.
u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
All right, I'm going to ask everyone a question, but Harvey is not allowed to answer this question. This question is, who are the heroes? This is a two-part question. Who are the heroes of the Hanukkah story? The Maccabees, right? Where does the name Maccabee come from? The hint is it has to do with the next prayer that we're going to do. See, Harvey's nodding. He's not allowed to answer.
Can I give a hint?
Well, the hint is on page 158, and I guess even if you're looking in the English letters, whether the Hebrew or the English, if you look on 158, for the part that's blue at the top, if you look at the first letter of every word, you're going to find the solution. Now, it doesn't quite work in the English, I guess, but mem, kaf, bet, yud. Maccabee. Yeah, Harvey taught me that, so that's why he's not allowed to tell me.
And what does it mean?
The family of Mattathias, they love the Mechabocha. What can I tell you? And
No, translation.
They pick that. Oh, what is the translation? Who is like you, Akon?
No, the hammer.
No, that's Judah the hammer. I don't know. I think that's
Yeah.
separate. Oh, there you go. Maccabee is also a hammer. Oh, see, I need to go back to my elementary school.
But as a summary, we just did this Shema, which is about God's oneness, and the Vehavta, about how to love God, and we do that by loving one another. We sort of are the reflection of God, and then we're reminded that it was God who redeemed us and took us out of Egypt for all these good things. If we follow the blessings, maybe good things will happen. And then we come to this crossing of the Red Sea. Who is like you? We just crossed the Red Sea. So every time in our prayer service, we get to be reminded that God is one. We got to get out of town to cross the river, and then we have to give thanks.
Love it.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mihi kamocha ba'elim ya. Mihi, oh, the ya is just a little letter, the yud for God's name. Mihi kamocha ba'elim ya. Mihi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot osefele. Nora tehilot osefele. Ya'im loch le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya'im loch le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. And now just say ya ya. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. You can join me. I know you don't know this really well, but you can do the yalas. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
I invite you, we're going to go into the tefillah, which is the centerpiece of our prayer service. It's actually what everything leads up to and leads away from as well. It starts on page 164. If it's your custom to rise, please rise. If it's your custom to sit, please sit. And we're going to continue for a couple minutes with our own prayers, continuing through page 180. prayer for peace on 180.
Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
We're going to turn to our healing prayers at this point. I want you to think about those who are in need of healing. We have so many in our extended family and community. People who very much need our extra prayers, some of whom are with us here today. I'm going to read our synagogue list, and as is custom at Shir Shalom, if you do have someone you want to mention out loud, if you're here present, just raise your hand and I'll kind of sweep around the room. If you're here remotely, just write in the name and we'll pray together for all those people. I do believe the blessing we're going to do is not in your prayer
It's
book.
correct. I'm going to share something new. Didn't put it on the song sheet.
As a community, we're thinking of Angie Barnes, Ebony Burks, Noah Camacho, Peggy DeLong, Arthur DeZelke, Sue Frank, Michael Getting, Nancy Hersbron, Paula Jones, Gail Lewis, Diane Lynch, Larry Max, Jean McGarry, Helene Mesh, Ryan McGowan, Ida Nevler, Cheryl Rossi, Mimi Shapiro, Don Sherman, Anita Weitzel, Karen Weissman, Jeffrey Winnick, Mark Yeblin, Elizabeth Jeezy Yeager, Christine Zalowiski, Masha Bat Basha, Chana Ezra Ben Shuel, and Penina Sarah Bat Chana. Just raise your hand.
May the waters of healing flow through our soul. May the waters of healing flow through our mind. May the waters of healing flow through our heart. May the waters of healing flow through our form. Anna, Elna, please, Holy One, Refan Allah, let your healing be done. Anna, Elna, heal our soul. Refan Allah, may we be whole. May the pure heart light of healing flow through our soul. May the pure light of healing flow through our mind. May the pure heart of healing flow through our heart. May the pure light of healing flow through our form. Anna, Elna, please, Holy One, Refan Allah, let your healing be done. Anna, Elna, heal our soul. Refan Allah, may we be whole.
A complete healing of body and soul. Shabbat Shalom. It's so hard with these masks. We're in such a terrible state here in Western New York. We're really struggling, and we do hope that our healing prayers go, especially at all the people in the hospitals. I think they said there's something like 437 in the ICUs that have COVID. It's quite a catastrophe. So today I was thinking, sometimes I weigh my options. What do I want to do? And I was looking at Quinn, and I chose that I'm going to tell a story. Forgive me, Julia and Chris, we'll follow up on our conversation later. I'm in the process of publishing a book of children's stories, and this one is dedicated to Hanukkah and to the story of Joseph. It's a retelling. It's called Brother Joseph and the Shooting Stars. And it's based on a verse in Genesis 37, verse 9. He dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers, saying, "Look, I have had another dream. And this time the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." Brother Joseph loved the stars, the way they danced across the sky, playing hide and seek with the night, the way they sparkled and shimmered, forming shapes and designs. In one constellation, he saw the tents of his father Jacob, both how they looked right now and how they would look in the future. He saw animals like mountain lions, ibexes, jumping and running about. He saw the faces of his ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah. They smiled down upon Brother Joseph with love in their eyes. The stars were his family. They brought him joy and comfort. His own family was not as loving. His older brothers hated him. They called him the dreamer and left him out of all their games. "Father may love you most, son of Rachel," they taunted him, "but we can't stand you." Most nights, Brother Joseph cried himself to sleep. Who needs them, he thought to himself. One day I will get my revenge. On a warm, clear night, as he looked up at the sky, tears streaming down his face, he noticed some of the stars moving in unexpected ways. They dashed and darted, falling and rising like apparitions, one moment there, the next gone. These are not stars, he thought. It is a vision from God. To Brother Joseph, all of the stars seemed to be bowing down to the largest and brightest star in the sky. The smaller stars are my brothers. The brightest one is me. That is what they will one day do when I am given my rightful place in my family, Brother Joseph said to himself. When he told his family the next day, they were not pleased. "Little brother Joseph is going to rule over us," they laughed. "We will show you who is in charge." And they made life even harder for him. One day when they were shepherding their sheep in Dothan, they saw Brother Joseph walking towards them. Their father Jacob had sent Brother Joseph to find his older brothers. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to themselves. "Come, let us show him what he gets for his dreams." Picking up Brother Joseph, they threw him into a deep, dark pit. The pit was empty and high, impossible to climb out of. Brother Joseph lay there frightened to death, his knees and elbows bruised. What would become of him? Outside, the sky turned black. Brother Joseph feared for his life. All around him, he felt animals creeping about. He lay down on the hard earth and tried to sleep. This would surely be the death of him. Not able to sleep, he looked up at his friends, the stars. They twinkled and moved, shifting and darting just as they had done the other night. Now trapped in the pit, he no longer saw them as his brothers bowing down to him. "These are snakes and scorpions out to get me," he said to himself. Managing to fall asleep for a few hours despite his fears, he felt his body being pulled up out of the pit. His brothers were once again surrounding him. "We cannot just leave him here to die," said Brother Judah, the only brother who had ever been nice to Brother Joseph. Spying a caravan of Ishmaelites approaching from the north, he pointed in its direction. We will sell him to them," said Brother Judah. Before they did, the other brothers tore off his colorful coat that Brother Joseph's father had given him as a gift and smeared it with blood. "We can tell Father he was devoured by lions," they said amongst themselves. Brother Joseph traveled into Egypt, where he was sold into the house of Potiphar, a key advisor to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. As an enslaved person, Brother Joseph had to do as he was told. He could not go out as he wished. He was forbidden from going out to see the stars. Through his window every night, he watched them hazy in the background. The stars no longer felt like giant orbs he could tell stories about. Now they were just tiny, remote dots, barely visible in the sky. He missed his family. He missed his home. One day he had gotten in a terrible fight with the mistress of the house, Potiphar's wife. She accused him of things he didn't do. He knew his life would be changing. Tears streamed down his face. Outside it was raining. The rain made the glass in his window blurry. Even so, he could see it was a night of shooting stars. Now they were not bowing down to him, nor chasing him like snakes and scorpions. They too were crying. The stars had been transformed into tears. Brother Joseph felt foolish. How naive he had been to think he was destined for great things. Even the stars were mocking his pain. The next day, Pharaoh's guards led him out and threw him into a prison cell. There was nothing in the cell, not even a window. The stars were as distant and remote as they had ever been. Brother Joseph knew this is where he would spend the rest of his life. Suddenly, the captain of the guards, a tall, regal man with a bright uniform, threw 2 other men in the cell with Brother Joseph. One was portly with a curled mustache. He had been Pharaoh's baker. The other was strong and narrow. He had been Pharaoh's chief of butlers. They were both crying. "You must help us," they begged Brother Joseph. "Pharaoh believes we were trying to kill him. There must be something you can do." Brother Joseph felt bad for these men and agreed to help. That night, both the men had a dream, but neither knew what the dream meant. "Perhaps you can help us interpret our dreams," they asked Brother Joseph. He agreed to try. The butler decided to go first. His was about a branch that sprouted 3 vines, on each a cluster of grapes. In his dream, he crushed the grapes and presented the wine to Pharaoh. "Each vine represents a day," Brother Joseph told the butler. "After 3 days, you will be forgiven by Pharaoh and restored to your post." Thank you," the butler told him, kissing Brother Joseph's cheeks. "What can I do for you in return for your kindness?" "Pass on word of my kindness to others," Brother Joseph said. The butler agreed. 3 days later, after the butler had been set free, the baker approached Brother Joseph. "Let me share my dream as well," he asked. "Certainly," Brother Joseph replied. The baker sat down and began to share. "In my dream, there were 3 baskets full of delicious baked goods, breads, pies, and cakes, all resting on my head. I was heading over to Pharaoh to hand them to him, but before I could, the birds ate them. What do you think it means?" "This is not good news," said Brother Joseph. The face of the baker fell. Brother Joseph continued, "You will not be as lucky as our friend the butler. Instead of being restored to your post in 3 days, you will be killed." And so it was with the baker. 3 days later, he was taken out of the cell and killed. For a long while, Brother Joseph remained in his cell alone. One day, guards approached, and he was taken out. "What do they want from me? What do they want me for?" said Brother Joseph asked himself. The guards took him into a fancy room. He was bathed, dressed, and called before Pharaoh. "Is this the dreamer?" Pharaoh asked his courtiers. They nodded. The butler was standing among them. "I need you to interpret my dream, just as you did for the butler and baker," said Pharaoh. He told Brother Joseph about 7 full and fat cows, as well as 7 tall and robust cornstalks, each replaced by gaunt and frail cows and shriveled cornstalks. "What do my dreams mean?" Pharaoh asked Brother Joseph. He sat and pondered, staring out through the large windows in the court. This was no simple matter. If he gave an answer Pharaoh did not like, Brother Joseph would be killed like the baker. "Give me a night under the stars, and I will give you an answer in the morning," he told Joseph. "Very well," said Pharaoh. His guards ushered Brother Joseph out. They brought Brother Joseph into one of the finest rooms in all of the palace. There was a giant window in it, perfect for watching the stars. That night, the stars once again dropped from the sky. This time, Brother Joseph did not see his brothers bowing down to him, or snakes and scorpions, or even tears. He saw the cows and corn growing and falling. He knew exactly what to tell Pharaoh. "There will be 7 good years followed by 7 bad," he said to Pharaoh in the morning. "What shall be done?" Pharaoh asked. "We must use the good years to prepare for the bad," Brother Joseph suggested to Pharaoh. He was in charge of the project. After 7 good years, famine struck Egypt and all the lands surrounding it. People from all over Egypt came to Joseph for help. Among them were Brother Joseph's brothers. Dressed in his courtly finery with a shaved head and silken robes, his brothers didn't recognize him. A long time had passed since they had thrown him into a pit and sold him into slavery. Maybe his brothers had forgotten about what they had done to him. Brother Joseph had not forgotten. "Why are you here?" Brother Joseph asked them with venom in his heart. "We are from the land of Canaan. We have come to buy grain," Brother Judah responded. Brother Joseph laughed. "You have not come to buy grain. You are spies sent to steal it from us." His guards seized them and prepared to throw them into jail. Before they did, Brother Joseph said, "To prove your innocence, one of you must stay here in prison, and the others must return home and bring back your youngest brother, Benjamin." He sent them home without food. That night, he lay restless in bed. He looked out the window and once again saw shooting stars. He remembered how he had once thought the stars had been his brothers bowing down to him. He smiled, knowing that this vision had come true. But the closer he looked, he realized that he had been wrong after all. The brightest star was not distant from the other stars, but among them, playing. Brother Joseph remembered all the fun times they had with his brothers when they were growing up. He missed his family. Tears welled up in his eyes. He knew what he had to do. When his brothers returned, Benjamin was among them. The other brothers crowded around him, protecting their youngest brother. They had changed. They were no longer the hateful young men they were when he last saw them. They were older and wiser. Brother Judah stepped forward. "Please," he begged Brother Joseph, "if we leave without our brother Benjamin, our father will be heartbroken. He is an old man. Many years ago, one of our other brothers was killed by a mountain lion. Our father has never recovered. Losing another of his sons will kill him." Brother Joseph heard the pain in Judah's voice. He paused for a moment, thinking of the vision of the stars he had seen the night before. "Leave us," he commanded all gathered in Pharaoh's court. When he was alone with his brothers, he brought them near. "I am Joseph, your brother," he told them. Brother Joseph and his brothers hugged and kissed. They spent hours talking. The light shone bright through the windows of Pharaoh's court, and in that light, all the brothers seemed to dance, just like shooting stars. As we think about the stories of our tradition, whether it's in biblical tradition or today, take time, reinvent them. I think they deserve to be told and retold again. And when we tell them, we can find a new way to tell them. I found stars. I thought that was a nice way to retell it. But I encourage all of you, especially even the children, to do so. So we take the strength of our ancestors who love telling stories, and we bring it into our world today. I do believe that we have a song that
It's
Dr.
just
Foster-
amazing because it connects me to my DC time, and it's all about children and reinventing. Like you say, Barnwell.
And I
Sweet
think it's
Honey
on your
Rock.
sheets,
It
too,
is. For each child that's born. Who knew? For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great vision. We are sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We are seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are, and we are one.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's perfect. We're going to rise for Aleinu. It's not enough for us just to pray. We need to go do good deeds in this world. Page 586. 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer bereshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser aretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim imahal, u'shchinatu zo b'gavei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
We continue 591.
V'ne'emar haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
One day we will all be one together, unified in peace. You may be seated. We're going to turn now to our mourner's Kaddish, and I do know there are people here that have come specifically for mourning. We're grateful that this space is a place where we can not only welcome new babies, but also mourn our losses and remember those that have been with us in the past. In our immediate losses, we said goodbye today to Simeon Kramer, who fought in World War II in the Russian army, and eventually came to America around 1990. His son Leonid was telling me sometimes he watches here, so we send a lot of comfort out to him. I think he was 98 years old, I think. We're going to have a service for Sheldon Reingold of blessed memory on Sunday, and so our thoughts and prayers are with them. Our recent losses, we're remembering Virginia Bergman, Gloria Berzone, Michael Berwick, Dorothy Shackman, Gary Sloan, Annabelle Weiss, and I should say also Mindy Weinman. We're grateful that her family is with us as well. She is definitely central to our community, and we mourn her loss every day. On our yard site list from years past, we're remembering David Atkin, S. Edmund Berger, Harry Brown, Gladys Berwick, Sidney Colbert, S.E. Feinberg, Alva Finkelstein, Morris J. Foreman, Abraham Fudeman, Elliot Frank, Sarah Furash, Gertrude Grass, Herbert Gross, Jack Horowitz, Edwin Jaffe, Paul Kent, Sadie Klein, Percy Max, Morris Markel, Louis Milstein, Margot Myers, Dr. Otto Neustatter, Millie Niss, Norman Pearlstein, Edgar Jeanette Revo, Max Rubin, Frida Rubin, Max J. Sapphire, Samuel Scholefeld, Bernard Sellers, Florence Sirota, Cynthia Lee Siegel, Gladys Gigi Sperry, Sydney Steinhardt, Leonard Vogel, Samuel Weiner, David Wyman, Irving Weinstein, Aaron Weintraub, Ann Weintraub, and Belle Weiser. We'll go around it. If you have other names, just raise your hand.
My dad's first year, Lev Hersh ben Sadie Vermeer Fischel.
And Dr. Foster, why don't I invite you, as you're still in the year of mourning, to recite anyone whose custom it is to rise, 598.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'yama divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvimechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mavarach li'alam u'lalmei al-maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imeru. Amen.
May God grant comfort to all those souls and to all of us, and we say amen. You may be seated. I'm going to invite up Joanne Marquesi, our executive director, who both prepares our announcements and is now going to present our announcements. Again, Bruce, we do miss you. Wherever you are in Texas, I hope it's warmer than Buffalo.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Mazel Tov to Quinn Darren Davis and his whole beautiful family that's here to share in this very special day. Mazel Tov. And he's such a good baby. Very special thank you to Rabbi Alex and Dr. Yonina Foster for a lovely service in honor of Shabbat. We'd like to thank our usher tonight, Mark Nightinger. We'd also like to thank everyone that RSVP'd tonight. It does help us in planning so that we have the proper setup and service leaflets and social distancing and ONIC to go and all those things. We do appreciate it. Shabbat will be back on Tuesday, December 7th from 4 to 7 or until sold out. This will be our last event until the spring. It is a drive-through event, and if you order online, you can save $1 per meal. The Women of Shir Shalom will be presenting the Art of Hanukkah program via Zoom on Tuesday at 7. Everyone is welcome. Registration is required. And if you need help, Julia Cohan is here this evening if you have any questions. And the Women of Shir Shalom also needs volunteers this Wednesday, December 1st at 10:30 to move bags of clothing off the stage. If anyone is available, they appreciate the help. And they're also having a new discussion group that'll be starting called the Timely Topics Discussion Group. It will meet quarterly, either virtually or in person if COVID allows. Members of the group will decide on a topic, and each member will read something of her own choice pertinent to the topic, and then each group member will have a chance to summarize the chosen reading, and a group discussion will round out the topic. If you are interested or have any questions, please contact Jill Hamilton. And our High Club is back. Join the weekly High Club ticket drawings. It'll begin on Wednesday, December 1st. If you need more tickets or have any questions, please let me know. And our gift shop was open prior to services this week from 6:30 to 7. Thank you so much to Sue Frank, and we hope to continue that before services. Thank you to everyone who donated or volunteered for the Thanksgiving Basket Project. How many meals were served this year? 490. Amazing, amazing. So special thank you to Julia and Chris Cohan for leading this important mitzvah. And next Friday is a very special Shabbat here. It's called Buffalo Bilica Hanukkah. So please come in your Bill's attire. And you can join our communal menorah lighting, enter a Buffalo Bills menorah contest, have a drive-through latke box if you'd like, let me know. We're also collecting for Jewish Family Service toilet paper, paper towels, disinfectant wipes, and laundry soap in honor of the 5th night of Hanukkah. And each night of Hanukkah, except that Friday night, we will have Hanukkah candle lighting on Zoom at 6:45, and you're welcome to join us. We continue to evaluate all events and protocols on a week-by-week basis based on the status of the pandemic, and our most important priority is to keep everyone as safe as possible. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, Todd Sugarman, or myself, and Bruce Kors when he's back in town. Shabbat Shalom, and we'd like to thank Jill and Stephen Kalaga for sponsoring our Oneg to Go this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
So first of all, this tie, you can purchase it in our gift shop. I wore it on Sunday, and I wore it again, because I just want to say it's a beautiful tie, and it is available. Sue can point you in the right direction before Hanukkah. Also, the children in our religious school, that's a religious school made up of Temple Beth Zion, Beth Tzedek, Shir Shalom, and community members. They have 4 posters that are, I think, on the stage over here. So if you want to take a look, they're really wonderful representations of menorahs. And I have, for next week, I have a Buffalo Bills tie. So I can't wait. That'll be my first Bills tie. How perfect that we didn't know that it would be the major week leading up to our big first place game at home on the Monday night. So this will help to get the spirits up for that day. We are now ready for a Hanukkah chant. And that isn't, oh, here, is it?
It is the same, we're going to do the same one.
So we already
It's on the
learned
song sheet, yes. Shefa Gold. We'll just go through it a few times. Think of yourself as that light. And every time you light the lights of Hanukkah, think about yourself as shining a brighter light in this universe. Let the flame be kindled within me. Let your love burn bright. I hunger for your light. I hunger for your light. Let the flame be kindled within me. Let your love burn bright. I hunger for your light. I hunger for your light.
Beautiful. All right, we need a designated person from the family to come lift our challah over here. Anyone want to come? I'll let Lindsay decide there. So just underneath there, and that is a gift from the synagogue to you. So just lift up our challah. Wonderful. I think these are the ants, Quinn's ants. Is that okay? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Yeah, you can take the cover off. So that's a gift to your family. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please return your prayer books to the front, minus the little leaflet, because it's easier for the guests in the end. But Shabbat Shalom. Happy Thanksgiving, Shabbat, and Hanukkah coming up.